What's going on? Welcome back to Real World Tool Reviews. It is hot in the shop. Real hot. But that doesn't stop me. I love coming out here on the weekends and messing with stuff, making these videos. So I'm going to power through it. I have some projects to do. You guys who follow my channel may remember I got a new job. I took all the stuff out of my truck and rearranged, made a new tool bag full of, all my essential tools. And I came to realize that that was a mistake. I don't know what I was thinking. I have to put all my tools back in my truck because I have run into some situations where I just was so mad that I didn't have my full setup, and I'm just done with it. I'm going to maybe make some improvements to the setup, maybe get a toolbox for the back of my truck in my truck bed, but I'm going to put all my damn tools back in my truck, and so we're back to that. So I wanted to tell a little story and review a couple tools. So this week I have been in charge of a project at an apartment complex where these apartments have it's called sub-meters. So they're not real meters, they're not like city meters, they're meters for the ownership of the apartments to keep track of the usage in each apartment and charge the residents for the water that they use in their apartment, because there's really just one meter for an apartment complex, usually like a master meter. But these are individual sub-meters, and they were all getting replaced at an apartment complex with hundreds and hundreds of apartments. So it was a big project, and something's going to go wrong. One of the guys who was installing them broke this ball valve, which was the cutoff for an individual apartment, and he broke it, and it was stuck open, and it was just spewing everywhere. And the guy left the apartment anyway. The person comes and says, "Hey, there's water all over the place. It's raining down into the apartment below it." It was just a mess, But I knew something like this was going to happen. So I needed to fix it because everybody else, it was just one of those things where it was like, okay, time to do this. And I didn't have my truck set up, and I was so annoyed. But I did have my pouch, my plumbing pouch, that we've gone over. And thank God I had it because I had just enough to get the job done. But I had to go to Home Depot and get a ball valve because somehow they didn't have one in the maintenance shop. But it was one of those situations where this PEX, so this is the valve I cut out. And between this PEX ring and the elbow where the other side of this PEX was just a little bit more. It was one of those really short connections where I couldn't cut it real easily with PVC cutters or something. So I needed to just saw it. And I keep this Lennox saw in here, and it's time for me to do a review on this Lennox because it's just an awesome, awesome little tool. I bought this and I put it in a little, one of the first tool haul videos I ever did. It was in a really early video. I did a video about some stuff I got at Home Depot. It was one of those videos with the where I did it in portrait mode, so it was dumb back then. But I was like, when I bought this, I was like, this will be great to keep in my plumbing pouch, and I can cut holes in drywall if I have to, or cut pipe, or whatever. And it turned out to be exactly what I thought it would be, better than what I thought it would be. It's this blade that came with it is so good for cutting PEX and you can cut, even cutting copper or anything, toilet bolts. It's just, this blade is great for it, all that stuff. And it's so much better than using a hacksaw like this. Like, this is kind of what I always used before I got this, for like what I would use, this kind of little saw for. I would use this little hacksaw, and it's okay for some stuff, but man, this is so much better, so much better. And it's awesome to keep in the plumbing pouch, because I can keep some blades. I keep this longer blade in here, and I keep my the drywall blade. This came with the saw too, and I've cut some drywall with it, and it works awesome. Like, it's just a perfect solution for, like, when you run into a plumbing situation. A lot of times I have to cut a hole behind the wall, like for to get to a tub shower valve or something, and I don't like cutting holes in drywall, but sometimes I have to, and I'll have this and just in the pouch, ready to go. Or under a sink, I need to cut some PVC, ready to go. It's just awesome to have in your plumbing kit. It's just, other companies make these, like Milwaukee and DeWalt, and all of them have it. I like this Lennox one. I've never tried those other ones, but what I really love about the Lennox is the way that this blade change is. So that came off because you just take that off. So let's say I gotta cut a hole in the wall. I don't want to, but I got to. So you take this cap off, and you put that blade right there, and it's magnetic right there, which is just like, sometimes little features like that are just awesome. So it makes it real easy to, no fumbling with an Allen wrench or something, and then you just tighten your thing on right there, and you're good to go. You got you a drywall saw, and it's not, it's solid in there. It's not too jiggly, and it just is a good feeling, really good saw. And you can put any Sawzall blade in it, and it just comes in handy all the time. Like, now that I have it, I would, if I lost it or somebody stole it or anything like that, I would immediately go buy the exact same one. This is the Lennox. Let's see if I can find them. Oops. See if I can find the part number. There's no part number on it that I can see, which is weird. But they sell it at Lowe's. That's where I got it. And it's the Lennox folding saw. That's all I got for you. But man, I would just highly recommend this to keep in your plumbing repertoire, And the other tool that I just wanted to sing the praises of real quick is another tool, Appolo. The Appolo, now I'm sure there's other companies that make these. The PEX ring cutter. Now, when this valve thing happened, I called one of my buddies, and I was just, seeing how he was doing, and he does this type of stuff too, and I was just kind of bitching about what I was going through. And he was like, "Oh, get you one of those PEX ring cutters." And I was like, "Well, I've cut PEX rings with a hacksaw so many times, and you're sitting there just hating your life, getting it started, and just, and this was in a real kind of tough place, and he's like, "Dude, just get one." And so I did. I bought it, and when I went to go get the ball valve, I bought it, and I'm so glad he suggested it, because it went, instead of slaving away with this damn hacksaw back there, all you gotta do is set it on 3/4. This one was 3/4. As long as you can get inside the pipe, boom. and you just cut it in a couple places. And yeah, get the idea. You might have to get a pair of pliers or something, but you know, Bob's your uncle. There goes your PEX string, and you can, you know, redo your section. So if you do a lot of plumbing, if you work with PEX a lot, which I do, I would highly suggest getting this and this. But man, this was one of those tools that I always, like, I knew it existed, and I was always kind of like, well, you could only really use that in certain situations. Like, you do have to be able to get up in here in the pipe, or else you can't cut it with this, you know, obviously. But as long as you can get up in there, I mean, that's a game changer, because if you've ever cut PEX strings off with a hacksaw, you know that a better way is a lot better. So, the Appolo 1/2 inch and 3/4 PEX ring cutter and the Lennox folding saw are two awesome plumbing tools. So that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about, was a review on those two tools. And the other thing I'm thinking about is, since I'm putting all my tools back in my truck, I kind of want to do it in a little bit more of an organized way, maybe change up some things. Now, I always use these pouches. Like, I love having my blue plumbing pouch. It's real easy for me to see, and I just throw it all in here and go. And I always end up just throwing my stuff in individual kits in these pouches. I try to have individual bags and stuff, but tool bags for me, I like to have a communal tool bag where I just grab stuff from. I don't like to pick up a heavy tool bag because I'll fill it up and there'll be stuff I don't need in it, but I have designated kits for these pouches. But I was thinking about going with a tool bag again, like a small tool bag that can organize this stuff upright, you know? Like, I won't keep these in there because I'm only going to use these sometimes, you know, in rare situations. What I keep in this thing here is essential plumbing tools, you know, like adjustable wrench, cutters, needle nose, screwdrivers, couple kinds of, like the wrench for the one-stop wrench, my Douglas's, Allen wrenches for faucet handles, pick for O-rings, little channel locks, 6-in-1, stubby, little toilet bolt thing, and a delta wrench. And then I took them out, but I usually have some hollow shaft nut drivers, like I always do. I always have a 7/16 and a 1/2 inch for toilet bolts. And then I always have, and I meant to throw this back in here, I always have a 3/8 for garbage disposal, little nuts, stuff like that. So that's just like the kit. Now, if this was all standing upright in a small tool bag, it would still be light and it would be more organized. So y'all give me your suggestions on what tool bag I should get for this or use for this, and I would really appreciate some input on that, because I don't know that I have one that would be right for it. I might go Vito. There's a new Vito open top bag called like the SC, like the OTSC, I think, and I'm kind of intrigued by it. But y'all just let me know what y'all's thoughts are on that. I'd like some suggestions. And suggestions besides just Vito, I would appreciate too. So y'all let me know. But I'm thinking about doing a different setup for my plumbing stuff. It's hard, like this. it looks crazy when I have this pouch full of shit and I have to dig through it all the time. But I like it because I can just throw it in there and I know that it's all in one little place, and I won't be tempted to like throw extra stuff in extra pockets and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's just crazy, but also it really works for me at the same time, so I probably shouldn't change it. But I'm thinking if I could organize it in a tool bag that I didn't have any extra room to put stuff in, it might work still. So y'all let me know what you think. But the main thing is I would just wanted to give a 5 out of 5 star review to these two tools. Now this Appolo, I don't know how well it holds up, but because I've only used it once, but I think it'll be fine. I've been using this for several months pretty frequently, and it's fine. So I think it's a really solid one. So anyway, plumbing tools to get you through it. Thanks for watching.